dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
Andrew here on Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio America Network. I'm your host, Mark Angelides. We're joined today by Liberty Nation's national security correspondent, Dave Patterson. Thanks for being here, Dave.
Happy to be with you, Mark, always.
So, Dave, the big, beautiful bill went and passed in the Senate and the House, and then Donald Trump signed it on Independence Day, making it the law of the land. And you wrote a rather fascinating piece about how this impacts the Defense Department budget and how it puts it on almost like a wartime footing or wartime readiness footing. Give some details.
Yes, I think that's the case. I mean, if you look at the reconciliation bill as a supplemental, because it's basically not the base budget, and it adds $113 billion to the defense line, which pops the defense total top line above $1 trillion, which is not trivial. And
as Donald Rumsfeld used to say,
not nothing.
Not nothing.
and I think that but more importantly, it was essential. Because what the reconciliation bill did is kind of prime the pump for other programs that are in the 26 base budget. For example, Golden Dome. In order to jumpstart Golden Dome, there's $25 billion in the reconciliation bill. So to have the full amount of money to really move that program along, it's going to show up again in the 26 base budget, and so you'll have that as an entire budget line, and it's things like that. Particularly important, I think, too, was the fact that the reconciliation bill was very keen on operations and what we call the O&M budget, operations and maintenance, the things that keep the warfighter fighting wars, and it was very clear that this was consistent with Secretary Hegseth's readiness and lethality and so forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of people would argue that $1 trillion for defense. Bear in mind, this number is never going to go down. Right, this is $1 trillion a year from here on out.
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not. It won't continue at that.
Remember the base budget is not $1 trillion. It's the combination of the reconciliation bill and the 26 base budget, which makes it $1 trillion. So,
okay, but to continue with the project, so we're talking what, 880-ish. In the base budget, and then 113 or so,
right?
In the reconciliation. That's a lot of money.
Well, by any measure, I would
by any measure. Is that increased spending? I guess what people want to know is this grand total? Is this A, making America safer? Is it B, putting America far enough ahead of any potential enemies that might are either in existence now or might come into existence or prominence going forward? And C, is it all going to be, I guess, C, the last one is it all going to be money well spent? Because it is obviously delivered through government programs. We know those are notoriously bad. So let's talk about the A factor first here. In what way does the initial spending and the additional spending, make America a safer place to be? Now, you mentioned the Golden Dome. What else is there?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to note what's not there.
Okay.
And what's not there is any money for woke programs, CRT, for training, and also for nonsensical climate change initiatives. And in the 25 budget, there was about...
Or electric tanks.
Or electric tanks. Oh, my goodness, yes. And in the 25 budget that Biden put forward, there's about $3 billion for climate change initiatives. That's all gone. That's all out of there because it's just simply non-value added. It should not. I want to throw out very quickly because we can also, throw out the baby with the bathwater. In many cases, the services were clever, and I know, surprise, but they were in that they used that money to do capital investments in property.
Okay.
And to they call it base resilience. And they book kept it under this climate change crap, and with all due respect to crap everywhere, but to make buildings more capable of withstanding hurricanes and so forth. That was necessary.
Right.
During the Bush administration, we had an entire program to do that. We didn't call it climate change because it didn't have anything to do with the weather, other than the fact that you were making buildings more capable of withstanding bad weather. And you have to do that. I mean, that's good stewardship of dollars in your capital account. So those kinds of things I think are still there, but they're properly book kept and military construction and so forth. But I think too that if you start to look at the base budget, because you have to look at it as a whole. I think I made this point in one of my articles. You can't look at it as one versus another or in isolation, because the reconciliation bill really is the pump primer for the 26 base budget, and the things that are important. And you can argue whether it's right or wrong, but they have eliminated Wedgetail, the E7A, which is AWACS for another, airborne warning and control system. Principally because it was, as I like to refer to them, it was a limping gazelle. Overcost, behind schedule, and unable to perform in the environment in which it was going to be. Now, you can argue about that last part, but the fact is that these are programs that die because they were not managed well. Wedgetail for the E7 has been on the books for a very, very long time. Should have been fielded years ago, but they're just not very good at acquisition anymore. And why, I don't know.
It's because you're not there in the Pentagon.
Well,
that's doing this anymore.
Yeah, I like to think that. I mean, throw me into that briar patch one more time.
So, that actually ties in with my third aspect of this is we're kind of hoping that if there is the budget, it's done now. We're kind of hoping that the money is spent wisely, and you've got these programs that, as you point out, they're years behind, and therefore, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, if a program that is engineering technology is several years behind schedule, it's almost axiomatically going to be obsolete or near obsolete by the time it does reach completion. Is that about right?
I won't go so far as to say obsolete. Let's say that it will be behind the power curve. It will not be as appropriate to the threat as it might otherwise have been had it been on time. And not only that, but you basically you limit the deterrence capability. If I've got the 6th generation airplane right now, then that's a deterrent, and it will be a deterrent until somebody decides that they're going to oppose me with something similar. But if I don't have it now, then I'm playing catch up, and the idea of deterrence is then pushed to the right, and it loses its effect. Now we can say, oh yeah, but we're going to have one. Oh yes sir, we're going to have one. But if it's not on the ramp, if it's not flying, then it's not a deterrent. And so I think that deterrence, you might write this down, deterrence today is worth a lot of deterrence sometime in the future.
Absolutely right. We're going to be back with Dave Patterson after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.